Hi, it's Steve from Azimuth Images here. Went to North Wales recently and took some photos, stayed for a couple of days and went exploring. One of the places we went was Aber Falls. If you've not been to Aber Falls before, definitely worth a visit. Go early. The car park isn't very big. It's incredibly popular. The first day we went, we just couldn't get there. The car park just fills up. And we just gave up, and it took us about 45 minutes to get from not to the car park, because we never got that far, down to actually getting back out of the village. And I would just hate to live there because it's just a nightmare. I feel very sorry for the residents. Anyhow, we were nice and early the next day. Got up there was about 6 or 7 cars already, and off we went. It's not an easy walk. It's uphill all the way. The path is good, don't get me wrong, it's a gravel type path. But you're definitely going to know you've done the walk. I certainly wouldn't want to push a buggy or a wheelchair or anything else up there. In fact, for me, walking up was quite enough, thank you very much. Anyhow, so on the walk up there, I took a couple of photos, and I'm thinking this is really quite nice. And we got to the top, saw the waterfall, and I thought, you know what, yeah, this is worth it. So in the background now is one of the photos I took on the approach to the falls. And you might notice, hopefully if you look through my channels and my various online marketplaces, I really don't like having people in my photos. I will go out of my way. I will wait ages for people basically to go away. Or I'll take multiple shots and edit them out. And this is the case with Aber Falls. We've got there nice and early, brilliant. I got a couple of what I call clean shots, a couple that I had to edit people out of. But the end result is some of the cracking photos I really enjoyed taking behind us. And of course, an hour later, more people have woken up, and it's getting a bit M6-y, is our kind of phrase for busy. So I retreat and start clambering around in the stream, if you like, that's come off the falls, which I'm told is the tallest one in Wales. It's 120 something foot. So I'm clambering around in the rocks, and my good lady has decided to do the Where's Wally. So I'm there clambering the rocks, and she's got the phone, and well, there's the picture. Where's Wally? I'll put an arrow on it so you can see where I am, down in the bottom there. Took a couple of shots. Moving water is either you like to see it or you don't. So I always take a shot with a slow exposure speed to get the sort of milky whiteness that some people like, and then a faster shutter speed to get the more frozen approach people like. And the great benefit about that is if you shoot off a tripod, which I pretty much always do, you can then blend the two together to get anything in between. So there we go, there's a couple of shots from Aber Falls. And then we retreated, it just got too busy. Went off to the coast, and I would love to tell you I can remember which town it was, but I can't. On the good side, the good lady wife will remember, and I will now put the title down there. So that's where we went. I'm great with this, she's wonderful, she keeps me on track. So we went there. And I got the Lensball, and a Lensball, if you've not met it, is exactly that. It's a ball, it's a solid sphere, big word from me. In this case I got a 4-inch Lensball, so it's kind of this size. Very heavy, it's solid glass. It distorts everything wildly, distorts everything. But you can play with that, and I did. So a Lensball being a Lensball, you put it down on something flat and it'll stay where it is. But very few things are really flat to a solid, shiny thing like a Lensball. So to stop it rolling away, I found on the beach an old water bottle, one of these little carry-around efforts, and it had a sports top on it, brilliant. So I filled it with sand, filled it with water, made it heavy, balanced that on one of the sort of concrete bits that were there, so a wooden bench seat with concrete bits around it, whatever. Put the Lensball onto it very carefully because it's heavy. And I took a photograph and I thought that's really lovely. I lined it up so the horizon on my Lensball was on the horizon of the sea, and I really quite liked that. And then what you do to get rid of the plastic water bottle effort is you take a second shot, so this needs to be on a tripod, and you then edit out. So you kind of just edit out the plastic bottle. You need a little bit of diddlery pokey down the bottom, but fundamentally you get that shot. Now normally the trick is you leave the focus point where it is. But in the background of this shot were a couple of islands, which I thought were really quite nice. So my next trick was to move the stuff out of the way, and then I took a shot having refocused so the islands were infinity there in the background, and there we go. So I hope you're enjoying the stuff that's in the background. I will slideshow these at the end briefly so you can see what the heck it is without Wally here being in the middle. Then went down to the beach and I wanted to get some photos there, but the Lensball's now going to be in the sand, which means I've got to be in the sand. The beach slopes, for me to get in a position where the Lensball was high enough up for me to get low enough down, it just wasn't happening. So the good lady had an absolute mind bender, and we cut some quite big chunky, I would call them rocks, worn smooth over years, and we made a pyramid of them, if you like, a three-legged effort. Put the Lensball on top of that, so now it's kind of a reasonable height. And then the problem is the camera needs to be on the tripod, and the tripod is, even as its lowest, is about 18 inches off the ground. My K&F tripod, I keep saying K&N, there's some kind of air filter. My K&F tripod, KF concept, I can invert, turn upside down the center column, which is exactly what I did. The camera doesn't go, it's upside down, into Photoshop, image rotate 180 degrees, vertical flip, whatever you fancy, it sorts it out. The downside is, I've got to remember which way up the camera is, where all the controls are. So now I'm laying down on my side, in the sand, taking photos. And I put the flash on to get the illumination on the front that you can hopefully see when Wally here gets out of the way. And we're doing this, and unbeknown to me, there's a young girl, I guess about 12 or maybe 13 or so, with her family, and she's fascinated by Wally here. And all credit to her and her family, they kept very quiet and didn't disturb us and kind of let us be. I think it was more out of fear than fascination. Anyhow, so they let us carry on. And I took my photos, and when I'd finished, they very politely, very kindly came over, and Dad said, I hope you don't mind, but my daughter is really fascinated by what you're doing. And I said, well, okay, that's great. You know, I'll show you this is what I've been doing. And I could just say, here's what I've got in the camera now. When I get back home, it's going to be photoshopped from here to eternity. And, you know, here's my card, and there you go. So this young lass, I say 12, 13 years, asked some fabulous questions. She's using a phone at the moment, and kudos to her. Camera phones these days, awesome piece of kit. Like anything else, brilliant in the right circumstances. Give or take, the more expensive your camera, the more right circumstances you can have. And she was doing editing on her phone and everything. A brilliant lass. And they've got her a camera for Christmas now, and she's playing with that and editing on the phone. So it was really lovely to meet her. Gave her a card. Hopefully if she ever sees this, she'll go, oh, that was me. I remember that weird bloke on the beach. So here's some of the photos from that. I'll slideshow them without this person in the way here. I would, however, like to blame one person for this. Lensball photography, I came across first with a guy that is on Lens to Print called Kris Sadler. Kris has got his own YouTube channel. He's a good and respected member of Lens to Print. And I'll link to Kris's YouTube channel down below, and I'll link to Kris's Lens to Print albums down below as well. So Kris Sadler, mate, it's all your fault. Cheers for that. But it has been absolutely fabulous. I really like playing with the Lensball. So couple of images, Aber Falls in Wales, and some Lensball trickery. And then last day, went down to Landwin Island. If you've not been, make sure the tide's out, or you can't get there without swimming. And I really wouldn't. It's quite a good current there. Clambered around on the rock pools there, and I found this opportunity inside a rock pool to simulate a beach. So I'm clambering around, tripod, Lensball, camera, all the palaver. And I balanced the Lensball on the beach, which would have been about 18 inches across, I guess. Now I can get the camera down low, I can shoot through a gap in the rocks, and the result was what you see now. So thanks for watching. I will do more videos, more how-tos and what I did, hopefully inspire people. If you've enjoyed it, that's awesome. I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate a subscribe, and I'd really appreciate a notification bell. So take the hint, give me a thumbs up, say a comment, say what you think about it, make suggestions for other videos, all fine by me. But please remember, hit the subscribe, hit the ding dong bell. The world will be a great place, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care now.